Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start. I will wait one more minute because we see still some people are waiting for being entered. So, all right, so 1 minute is almost over. So let me once again welcome you at our webinar today. My name is Radana Díťová, and I'm from the International Cooperation Department of the Technology Agency of the Czech Republic. And today I will be moderating this webinar. I would like to welcome you on behalf of our agency and of course on behalf of our partner organization, Israel Innovation Authority, because they are of course organizing this webinar with us. At this place, allow me to thank you, thank mainly to the Czech-Israeli Mutual Chamber of Commerce in Prague, and in Israel to Ms. Delana Mikolášová, scientific counselor at the Czech Embassy in Tel Aviv, for promoting our webinar throughout their channels. And I'm also pleased that we have today here attending this webinar some representatives from both of the chambers. And of course, the second one is the Israel-Czech Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Before we really start with the agenda, let me inform you about some technical requirements that we would like you to follow. Please make sure your microphone is turned off unless you are speaking, and because the webinar will be recorded and shared online afterwards. Of course, if you do not wish to be on the camera and seen, please turn off your camera. For any questions you might have, please use the tool via reaction, which is down the bottom, and click the raise your hand and you will be called on. Or you can simply use the chat box to write down your question, although I would like to ask you so that at this webinar, we would like to use this chat box mainly for exchanging the contacts of the participants of the webinar, because there will be a part of the webinar with questions that you will be able to ask if you will be interested in anything which will be taught at the webinar. Now I would like to screen for you the agenda of the webinar. And so you can see that we will start with opening remarks, and then we will have the introduction and presentation of our partner organization, and we continue with PECR introduction and presentation of the Czech conditions of the call for proposals. Then it will be followed by pitch presentations, and I will tell you something more about our PECR partnering tool. Then follows the question and answers part, and then we will be around end. Our webinar is designed for around 90 minutes. Perhaps it might be faster, we will see. And now For the opening remarks, I would like to ask Mrs. Tanya Halava-Perglova. She is a cross-cutting and international activities section director at our agency, to welcome you here. And so, Tanya, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Radana, for the floor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you today at the historically first webinar between the Technology Agency of the Czech Republic and the Israel Innovation Authority. We are very happy to see the interest from both sides, the Czech and Israeli one, but also across the sectors, because we have here representatives of academia as well as of businesses. The purpose of today's seminar is to introduce you to specificities of this bilateral call that we are organizing this year, but also to encourage new partnerships and matchmaking and networking. We have had very fruitful cooperation with Israel. It is not our first bilateral call, it is actually our 5th one. But here I would like to stress that this is not the only tool that we have in research and development for our cooperation, but we are also together part of some EU instruments like co-funds and partnerships, where we can also create consortia and have multilateral, even multilateral actually projects. The cooperation between our two countries, the Czech Republic and Israel, has been very fruitful and very nice. And I would like to say that we have a very tight relationship between both countries. And I am very proud that as a governmental agency, we can also contribute and deepen this cooperation via research and development projects. I am confident that today you will find new partners for your research and development projects. And with this, I would like to leave you in good hands of my colleague Radana and Uzi to tell you more about the bilateral call. Please do not hesitate to ask any question. This is our role to inform you so that we have as many as possible bilateral projects in this year call. Thank you very much for your attention and have a fruitful webinar.
Thank you, Tanya, very much for your welcoming words. And now I would like to welcome here our guest from Israel, our partner for cooperation, which is Mr. Uzi Bar-Sadeh, who is a bilateral program manager at the Israel Innovation Authority. And he will tell us more about the cooperation which is possible from the side of their agency. Uzi, the floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
We can,
okay.
Hear you clearly.
Okay. My name is Uzi Bar-Sadeh, and I am the European Program Manager at the Innovation Authority, responsible for implementing the bilateral agreements with European countries. First of all, I would like to thank the Technology Agency of the Czech Republic for organizing this webinar, and especially to Radana, my counterpart in this cooperation in the last few years, for her dedication and hard work in promoting the cooperation between Czech embassy in Tel Aviv. So thank you. And okay, next slide, please. Okay, these are the items in my presentation, which I will go over some of them very fast. Next slide, please. Okay, perhaps you all know Israel is a global leader in research and development. We were the first place in investment in R&D as a percentage of our GDP. And after us were South Korea and Japan. Next. Okay, you can see in this slide, in Israel ecosystem, we have at about 9,000 Israeli active companies and more than 400 multinational R&D centers in Israel. Next, please. Okay, Israeli high-tech is 15% of the total GDP and 54% of the total Israeli exports. Next. Okay, Israel Innovation Authority, its role is investing in innovation to promote sustainable and inclusive growth, and we do it through enhancing economic impact, strengthening innovation ecosystem, and also enabling emerging disruptive technologies. Next slide, please. We are focusing now on some technologies like quantum computing, artificial intelligence, climate tech, and bioconvergence, which is a new multidisciplinary industry that is based on synergy between different technologies from the fields of biology and engineering. So on these topics and sectors we focus, but of course, all of our call for proposals and also this one with the Czech Republic is open for submission in all technologies and the high-tech sectors. Next slide, please. Okay, Israel Innovation Authority, our budget is about $450 million in the authority, in the organization. We have approximately 150 employees and almost 200 external evaluators. We receive a year at about 4,500 submissions, and approximately 50% of them are approved. We are open for submission in all sectors, as I said, and also we are open for submissions and applications from company in all stages of growth. What we give to the companies if the project is approved by our research committee is a conditional loan. If the project is successful, the company should pay royalties to the Innovation Authority up to what they received from the authority. Next. Okay, in order to accomplish all these missions, we have a few divisions in the innovation authorities, and this division are focused on companies in the various stages of their growth, from startup division, for then bigger companies, and also consortia of academia and companies, and of course the international collaboration division where I work. Please, next slide. International division is responsible for implementing at about 70 industrial R&D agreements with the foreign countries all over the world. You can see in all continents. I think mainly in Europe, we have at about 20 active agreements. And of course, this agreement with the Czech Republic implemented by Thatcher, and in Israel, the Innovation Authority. We are also active in the Horizon Europe program. And in all of this agreement, we have a partner abroad, and we are trying to fulfill the agreements with activities like webinars and delegations and everything else in order to promote collaborations between companies from both sides. Next, please. Okay, as I said, it's a conditional grant. Funding in Israel is just to industrial company. The applicant should be an industrial company. Academia, universities, institution can be a subcontractor of the company. It's a conditional grant, and the funding to the company is up to 50% of the R&D expenditure, and the company should self-fund its part. Next. Okay, after we will receive application from the Israeli company on September 11th, then the evaluation process starts. We'll nominate an evaluator. As we are a small country, the evaluator can also come to visit the company after reading all the applications. He can visit the company, can ask some more questions. Sometimes they make another presentation. After this meeting, the evaluator writes a report to the head of section of the Innovation Authority, and then these reports come to the Research Committee of the Innovation Authority, which will decide if to approve or not approve the project, and if approved, what will be the percentage of funding of this project by the Innovation Authority. Up to 50% of the R&D expenditure in according to the quality of the project. Next slide. Okay, this is the evaluation criteria, and in international projects like the projects with Czech companies, in addition to the quality, technology aspect, and the commercial aspect, it's really important. We would like to see, our evaluators and committee would like to see the synergy between the companies, that every company in the project contributes for the development of this project. Not something, and also it is important that the share between the company, it's the best is 50-50, but it should not be more than 70% for one of the companies. Next. Okay, this ends my presentation, and of course, if there will be any questions, I will be happy to answer. Thank you.
So now I would like to present what are the core conditions on behalf of our agency, TCR. And as Mr. Bar-Sadeh already mentioned, or I believe he mentioned already, that the calls for proposals on both sides are already open. So, and before I will really get into details about it, I would like to introduce our agency a little. So as you can see, We are the main provider of state funding for applied research and innovation in the Czech Republic. In other words, we provide a project-based funding, and our main objective of the agency is to prepare and implement funding programs that connect research organizations with innovative activities in companies and the state administration. And we believe that thanks to this funding, we might support unique products and patents and other outputs from the funded projects. Although our agency was established only 14 years ago, we already supported over 4,000 projects, where almost 5,000 participants from businesses were supported, and over 5,300 research organizations that were participating in the projects. And in total, we were providing the support through 19 programs. So we have here that it's current programs, but actually not in every one we open every year, I would say, for now. And in average, we provide 70% or up to 70% of funding intensity per project. Now I would like to say a few words about the program from which we support our bilateral cooperation, because of course we at TACR we support both national and international cooperation. And speaking about this international bilateral cooperation, it comes from Delta II program, and also our partners in Israel, the Israel Innovation Authority. They have their own funding program for supporting the projects, and our programs might, of course, differ in terms and conditions. And what's important is that we come together with or share similar scope and research areas for the projects, and we keep negotiating the schedule. And of course, we meet then after the evaluation is done, which is done separately on each side. So then we meet with the results. So back to my Czech program. Through this program, our cooperation with Israel started in 2018, when the first call for proposals was announced. And usually through this program, we were able to support the projects that were or they could last up to 3 years. But now, because our program is ending in December 2025, we are now announcing the last call for proposals from this program, and therefore the projects can be only for 2 months now. Here is a short overview what's about our scope of the call. And as Mr. Barsadeh already said, our R&D projects also are really expected to develop new products and processes, and we expect them that they will be successfully applied in practice. Here is a schedule that we have on the Czech side for the call for proposals. As I said, we have already launched the call on May 17th, and on our side, the projects can be submitted by July 19th, and after that the projects will be evaluated, and the results will be announced by November 30th on our website. But of course, as Mr. Barsadek said, so because the Israel Innovation Authority has a slightly different schedule, so we will wait for the results from them. So I would say that the final results for this year will be announced like around mid of December. And then if you succeed and your projects will be funded, you are expected to start your projects between January and February next year. Now, please let me continue with the, as we call it, basic criteria of the call for proposals, and these are applicable for the Czech applicants. Again, regarding the eligible applicants, on the Czech side, there must be an enterprise who is the lead organization in the consortia, and the other participants then can be a research organizations, universities, and of course other enterprises, and also they can be subcontractors. What is important here to highlight is that the joint projects must involve at least one enterprise from the Czech Republic and one from Israel. And as I already mentioned, the projects for this call for proposals can be up to 2 years. And we are very glad that we allow in this cooperation with Israel all technology areas of application. And there only is one important thing, that the Czechs need to really be careful about classification of the project, as we call it, because all Czech projects must be in compliance with the national priorities of oriented research, experimental development, and innovation. And you will find all the details regarding this issue in our call documentation. And well, it's really necessary that you choose the correct category. And when you start filling in our electronic application, you will be guided through this part, because it's not only this national priorities, but there are 2 or 3 more classifications that are requested to choose for your project. At this point, I would also say that at TACR we cannot support if there are solely defense projects or medical research projects with a predominance of clinical studies. That is important to bring to your attention. And at the bottom of the slide, you can read what are the eligible project results that we expect that will be developed. Regarding the funding scheme on the Czech side, there is expected amount that we have for the call for proposals which is 160 million Czech crowns, which equals somehow around $7 million US. And here it's again important to say that it's meant, this money is meant for all joint projects that we announce through this call with our six partner organizations. So it's not only for the cooperation between Czech Republic and Israel, but of course, if the Israeli projects or Czech-Israeli projects will be the best in evaluations, so then yeah, that can be funded more than up to they will take all the money. So there is a limit for the project on the Czech side, which is 60 million Czech crowns, and we support, or we can provide at maximum in funding, or the intensity funding is per project up to 74%, and it depends on the type of the applicant who is applying, and of course the type of research activities they will conduct. And so it's really necessary that you go through the our call documentation and study this carefully. And of course, again, if you start filling in our electronic system, application system, so it will guide you to give you an idea how it will be for your funding intensity based on the composition of your team. That's the last point on this slide. It's perhaps clear, but it's better to say that there is no transfer of financial resources between our countries allowed. And here I'm here with the submission process that is requested for the Czech applicants, which they have to submit their project proposal. As I already said, they have to submit it to the electronic system called ISTA, and the project proposal must be completed in English. And for this year, there is a new mandatory annex, which is called market research. And similarly with the last years, we ask for the sworn statement of the applicant, common proposal, and of course there are other annexes, and these are stated in the call documentation. At this point, please let me say more about this common proposal, which is really important, and it's a mandatory annex for the Czech applicants, but also for the Israeli ones, because it is a form that is to be submitted by the main applicant on the Czech side to our agency. And for the whole consortiums, it means both the Czech and the Israeli one. And it is a confirmation of the commitment of the project partners to participate in the project. And it is actually a summary of basic information about the project proposal, and it is expected to include the financing and project description, also the implementation path, just to name just some of the items necessarily to fill in. And again, you will find this form in our set of call documentation, which is already placed on our website. So please be careful about this document, because this is at least this one document you need to submit altogether by July 19th, where is the submission deadline on the Czech side. So of course, the submission deadline on July 19th is the deadline for the Czechs, but and the Israeli part, they can submit later, but you should be really careful about the documents, such as this common proposal, that need to be submitted and worked on together. And then we have information about that the applicant must publish financial statements in the public register, and of course, no applicants may be the firms in difficulty. That's clear. Here I'm at almost my last slide, and this is to show you what are the steps of the submission and evaluation process on the Czech side. We meet with our partner, the Israeli Innovation Authority, when exchanging final evaluation results. And here you see, so that's really the step 5, results announcing, or before, of course, results announcing. And I think that's clear, this information. Again, there is a annex 2 to our call documentation, which is like 30-page document, which really explains in detail what is the evaluation process. And the project proposal must be approved, of course, both by TCR and EI in order to receive funding, and based on national funding rules. And so this is my last slide. So you can see the relevant web links for more information about our call for proposals on the Czech side. And it's meant mainly for the Czech applicants. Should you have any specific questions about Czech conditions, you are required or you should actually, at this time when the call is open, you should email your questions to our help desk portal, or not email, just enter your questions to our help desk portal, or visit our website and learn more about the conditions. So that's all from my side. And now we are moving to our most anticipated part of the webinar, I guess, which are the pitch presentations. We have 4 Israeli and 4 Czech representatives of the companies, which are going to present their businesses and ideas for cooperation in their 3-minute presentations. And for that, we start with our Israeli guests. And at first, I would like to ask Mr. Eran Pelek, who is a Chief Executive Officer from Metaphor Vision, if he could start his with his presentation. So before we start, you can see what are the presenters, the companies on the Israeli side. And now I would like to ask Mr. Pelek if he can join us by audio, and maybe he can start his presentation. So Mr. Pelek, I hope you are with us, and the floor is yours.
I'm with you, and thank you for the opportunity. Metaphor Vision is not a young company. We are a startup that working in the area of model-based system engineering, what called MBSE, meaning developing the project and the product using models. In the research area, we are active with the Technion in research on this area, developing processes, conceptual design, which is a phase of selecting the best architecture for a project, reliability analysis, and digital twin, all of them based on models. And you'll see the models in a few seconds. Metaphor is looking for investment. We have the knowledge how to develop. We are working with a few customers on the concept of implementing this model-based development. And we are looking for developing a product which will run on top of existing product in the market to implement advanced services for modeling and simulation and digital twin. Please go to the next slide. I'll start from what happened. This concept is not young. It's over 20 years in the market. However, in the year of 1918, the Department of Defense, DoD, the US Department of Defense, published a strategy document actually talking about a central authoritative source of truth database of all relevant information of the system or product or whatever, or organization. And then the disciplines are working around this database, each of them developing a model for this discipline, and they are all going together to the central database. So if you look on this chart on the left side, like designers should build design models, manufacturing should develop manufacturing models, and also management aspect, and special engineering and product support, all of them are working with models, which goes to the central database of models. If you would like to know what is really happened in a system, you have to go to this model and you have to grab your information and look on it. We have developed our own methodology on the right-hand side, which means to implement operational model first, mean modeling the organization once the system exists, then go to the system engineering model, which are components, how to implement your system, and then to technical model, and then to a verification model. All of these models are running on the central database. And the problem currently in the market is that there is no tool that can support the entire concept, starting from requirement and ending where the system is going. Okay, through the life cycle of the system, you have to implement many releases with new features. All of them are managed with models. And then go to the last slide. Then I'll talk to the vision, where we are going. The vision is talking about having the models of everything, the behavior of the organization, the technical behavior, the testing, and all of them are in models. While you develop the system, you have a simulation that you can simulate, for example, the way that a train is traveling in Jerusalem in order to support the customers. And if you plan a train not in the correct design element, you can change it in a model. The model contains everything about the train that you develop, with the simulation for checking information in all phases. Then during the operational phase, you have the train running in the field. And once some event happened to the train that the train does not know how to handle, it can go to the simulation, which have the digital twin simulate the physical twin in the field. And this digital twin can go to the model and ask for solution, or either go to the internet or go to the AI world of ChatGPT, whatever, grab the solution to the problem happened in the train, and then support it to the train, and send it to and behave accordingly. What is missing in all of these components exist, and we just have to further development and install and test them. And what is not exist today is the analytical real-time engine, which is purely AI engine that once something happened, it goes to the models, search the models, search the internet, ask the physical thread about specific parameters of operation in the moment of the event, and then provide a solution to the problem that happened to the train in this example, or if you are looking on the Boeing 737 MAX problem in Ethiopia 4 years ago, a small technical problem in a sensor caused a huge crash and problem to the developer Boeing, and it could be prevented if this type of system exists. That's it. There is if you want to see a small video of what happened here in this story example of digital twin, it works. If not, this is the presentation. What we are looking for, again, we are looking for investment to establish a greater development site and continue to develop the component needed to implement this vision.
So thank you, Mr.
Thank
for your introduction and presentation. And now I would like to ask our next presenter, who is Mr. Ziad Washi, a Chief Executive Officer from Class 3. Mr. Washi, please, floor is yours.
Hi, I hope that you can see me and everything working well. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. So Plus 3, just to tell you a little bit about our activity, Plus 3, it's a medical device company. We are supported by the Israel Innovation Authority. We started our journey in the NGT VC accelerator that we are enjoying until these days, its facility and its support. Our main goal is to develop a very unique filtration system to improve coagulation in bleeding patients. Plus, we develop a very unique filtration system called Clear Plasma that sufficiently, very robustly extract from plasma donors specific proteins that interact with the coagulation. By doing so, we're improving the coagulation properties of those plasma units, those blood products, helping bleeding patients. Our main focus in Czechoslovakia and Czech Republic is that we were working more than 3 years in 3 sites in Ostrava, in Olomouc, Herceg Rodova, doing clinical study and operation in Czech Republic very successfully with leading physicians like Dr. Urban and Dr. Schmidl, from several sites, Dr. Prat also from Ostrava and others. And we would like to expand that and to leverage the clinical data that we collected during the last 3 years in more than 100 patients on all sites in the Czech Republic to collaboration with another sites, collaboration with distributors, and of course, to get some investment, maybe from your leading company. How can I skip to the next slide? Thank you. So as I mentioned, just to give you a little brief, our main focus is about hemorrhage, about bleeding. That is a worldwide problem. That there are very little technologies available today to support bleeding and to stop bleeding efficiently. If you can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So this is our technology. It's a very elegant, as you can see in the image, it's a very elegant filtration system that interact with the patient from one end and from the plasma donor from the other hand. That means that we are not changing clinical practice. If there is a physician decision that the patient need plasma transfusion, we will give him the same plasma, but upgraded using our filtration system that extract the plasminogen and TPA that will enable to generate more stable clots and to prevent additional blood loss. I will do so. The outcome is that we are showing more than 50%, 55% less bleeding in upper gastrointestinal bleeding and in cardiac operations. We reduce the cost in trauma, as I mentioned, with upper GI in emergency situation, and reduce the cost of surgery. Can we go to the next slide?
I would say we have only those three, but let me
No,
check.
there is another one. Okay.
There. Oh yeah, sure. Excuse me.
So as I mentioned, we did 3 clinical studies. All of them were done in Czechoslovakia and Czech Republic, in Poland, Germany, Italy, Israel. All of them are very reliable data because it's a double-blind randomized control study that show that our technology, the clear plasma, reduce mortality, reduce hospitalization duration, reduce the use of blood product and rebleeding events that associate with the major bleeding. Of course, there is no any adverse event or any risk using our technology upon to now that I know about that. In these days, we are doing additional clinical study, as I mentioned, in 3 sites in Czech Republic that include Olomouc, Ostrava, and Hercegovina, in more than 63 patients that already enrolled. We're going to enroll 250 patients in all. And we would like to take this collaboration with the Czech Republic country, that amazing work is being done so far, to push it forward for commercialization in the Czech Republic with investors, distributors, and another hospitals to collaborate to find maybe joint grant and joint research together. Just answering questions that will pop up, we were first supported by the Israeli Innovation Authority, working with NGT VC, that is accelerated located in the north of Israel, that gave us the first envelope to start this project and to launch it. So the NGT VC and the Israeli Innovation Authority help us with the seed money that we needed to do the prototype, to do the animal experiment, to protect our IP, and therefore we can submit another grant that help us to do the clinical studies. Using the money that we receive from the Innovation Authority help us also to achieve investors and investments, and also the EIC grant and equity that more than 4 billion euro that also support us with the activities all over Europe. So I really appreciate the support of NGTVC and the Israel Innovation Authority. Happy to find new collaboration, academic, hospitals, distribution, and also investors from Czech Republic that would like to take this journey with us step forward. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Mr. Vashi. So thank you. Thank you for your presentation. And now I would like to ask, as the next speaker, Mr. Eduardo Borochin, Vice President of Sales and Business Development from Triple P Cybersecurity Experts. If he could start with his presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So hello, everyone. Thank you for having us. It's a great pleasure being here. Triple P Cybersecurity Experts is an Israeli company founded since 2017. And we develop a platform called SciCube.io, which is a cyber readiness platform aimed for the objective of the platform is aimed for the government, universities, banking, and insurance companies, SOCs, and MDRs, with the objective of increasing the cyber readiness within the organizations. Today, we realize that more and more, there is a lack of cybersecurity knowledge, there is a lack of cybersecurity capacity building, there is a lack of cybersecurity practical knowledge. More and more companies, they have been investing in technologies and solutions, but we left behind our main assets, which is the human capital. And therefore, here, a year ago, Triple P developed SciCube, which is a cloud-based cyber readiness platform that assists organizations in three things: how to prevent, to mitigate, and to respond to cyber attacks more effectively. At this point, the platform is already launched, is in the market, is working. We are working with governments, with universities, with financial institutions, but we have a very robust roadmap. Our robust roadmap includes two things specifically. First, the link between cybersecurity and artificial intelligence and machine learning, with the objective of creating a very high level of personalization in form of a virtual agent that may guide people on how to deal with real cybersecurity issues in real time. So it becomes a training capacity building platform to become an operational platform. If in one hand, I know how to deal with cybersecurity issues, but in the other hand, I have playbooks that in real time allow me to address them, then it becomes not only a training platform, it becomes an operation platform. This is the first part of the roadmap. The second part of the roadmap is how can we bring all of this that has been developed, which is the basis, is the cybersecurity, the artificial intelligence, and bring to the metaverse. And this is the second phase of the roadmap. And once we have all these issues developed in the metaverse, we can start approaching governments and very big companies in order to be able to create, for example, an European simulation based on metaverse. So the market is huge, the potential is huge, and we are looking for cooperations with companies that are working in the sector and interested in the sector to develop phase 2 and phase 3 of our roadmap. Okay, next. So this is, as I said before, this is our solution. Can we move to the next slide? So SciCube, by the way, is already available in the market. You can all have a look. It's a SaaS-based tool. It's a pure sandbox, no impact on local environments. There is a personalization activity that people can go and build their own learning journeys. And then let's move it from training to operations, to incident response, to crisis management, and then to the metaverse. Next slide. Now, just to complete, let's look at a couple of points, okay, that may interest you. So the first thing is that this is a dynamic AI-driven cyber readiness platform. So let's look at each individual separately. So let's create a personalized learning journey. Each person has a different experience, come with a different background, has less or more practical hands-on expertise, because today cybersecurity is not about theory, it's about how we deal with existing and emerging threats. So let's create a personalized learning journey. Then we come to the roadmap of the definition and the creation of this AI interactive agent, let's say the ChatGPT of cybersecurity. How can me, being an operations guy in cybersecurity, how can I get a personal assistant that is going to help me in real time when things happen? And this is all based on an algorithm called deep learning reinforcement agent that gets an improvement based on AI all the time. Before the last, how to respond to incident and crisis management. And here is about creating dynamic playbooks that is going to assist people in deal with issues in real time. And last but not least, we talked before, how to create hyper-realistic simulations. So today we are coming to customers internationally and creating physical cyber drills of blue team and red team. Okay, it costs a lot of money. There is a lot of logistics involved. Imagine if we could do it, all of it via the metaverse remotely, and still become hyper realistic. So that's the latest part of the roadmap. I think we talked a little bit about the roadmap today. As I said, the platform is already up and running. We are already working in phase 1, which is the dynamic playbooks of incident response. This is already being deployed. We are looking phase 1 interactive agent. This is the first part of the artificial intelligence. And then we are migrating from AI to metaverse. In between, we need to develop the hyper-realistic team simulations and prepare the base for the metaverse interactive scenarios. Thank you very much, and I welcome any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Borochin. And now I would like to give floor our last speaker on the Israeli side. And Mr. Igal Yarmolinsky will be presenting about his company and from the position of a vice president of sales. So Mr. Yarmolinsky, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Radana. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Okay, great. So thank you for the opportunity to present our security and patrolling solutions during this event. Next slide, please. CopterPix, that was founded in 2017, has vast experience in the homeland security and the defense domains. Our drones were chosen by the IDF, the Israeli army, and we are the exclusive supplier of standard tactical and multi-purpose drones up to 25 kilo total takeoff weight till the year 2026 to the IDF. There is somebody talking with me? CopterPix team. Can you? Okay. CopterPix team includes strong R&D division, 50% of our company, as you can see in this slide. We have many ongoing development projects with the Ministry of Defense and all the Israeli world's leading defense companies, like II, Elbit, and Rafael, use our CPX framework as their airborne platform, partially supported by the Israeli Innovation Authority as well. And we have a very, very good reference. We also won the local tenders with the police force, fire department, border control, and various municipalities here in Israel, and already started some sales worldwide. Next slide, please. CopterPix CPX open framework, what you see on the left side, hardware and software, enables end-to-end 360 degrees multi-rotor drone solutions. Our state-of-the-art multi-purpose drones are tailor-made per customer specs and provide the best performance. We guarantee, based on the Israeli army test, not by ours, at least 30% more flight time and at least 30% more payload to carry than any other commercial drone in the market today. Next slide, please. CopterPix specializes in 3 domains: inspection, long endurance, and multi-purpose drones up to 25 kilo maximum takeoff weight. This is the left side, the 4 motors, up to 70 kilometers distance and 1.5 hours in airtime, which is 3 times more than the regular drones that are in the market today. Hybrid, what you see in the middle, multi-rotor drones for missions of up to 7 hours and 200 kilometers of distance. And on the right side, the micro drones, 150 to 300 grams, including the world's smallest drone in the box patrolling solution. Next slide, please. Next one. Oh, sorry, one before, sorry. Thank you, sorry. Finally, I would like to present our newest innovation, the Rhino hybrid parallel drone, which will enable us to carry 25 to 100 kilo payloads for 1 hour or 50 kilometers. This is something that is world-class innovation, supported by our own patents, and can be done these days only by helicopters or much costly means of aerial or ground transportation. The prototype will be ready by next month, and we're planning to launch sales activity around Q1 or 2 in 2024. We're actively looking right now for investors for the continuous development and mass production and marketing of this solution worldwide. So if this is something that interests you as an investment or cooperation with us, I'll be more than happy to elaborate on this matter. We have another micro drone project that we're interested in including in this program, but the time is short, so I will talk about it if this is something that can be interesting for you. Last slide, please. So I'd like to thank you very much for your time. If interested, I can send you later the video of our APS 300, the system, which is our drone in the box service as a service solution and our various drone brochures. And of course, I'll be more than happy to answer any question that you have during the QA session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yarmolinsky. Thank you for almost keeping the time, because our Israeli presenters are a little bit longer with their presentation than expected, but it's okay in terms that we really are presentations were interesting, and there is now the great option and opportunity to present these all things. And so now let me introduce and start with the Czech pitch presentations. So again, you see the list of the companies that they will present. And now please allow me to start with Mr. Petr Lenhardt, who is the Chief Executive Officer from Inference Technologies. So Mr. Lenhardt, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Radana. Is it possible to share my screen, or are you going to go through the slides?
All right, so that's already on the screen.
Okay. So we are Inference Technologies. We provide predictive systems in semiconductor manufacturing, leveraging historical data, the vast amount of historical data that this industry is churning out every second. We are quite a bit active in research and development. We've published 2 papers last year. We've got another one being in the process of peer review right now. And so we like to partner with a suitable partner to develop a system for detection and classification of defects on silicon carbide and epitaxial wafers. So the goal is to learn to predict so-called killer defects, that are defects that may result in immediate failure during electrical testing, so that we can use it for latent defect prediction as well to increase overall yield and reliability. Okay, next slide, please. So the motivation here is that obviously semiconductor content has been increasing tremendously per every electronic system. Of course, so are customers' expectations. So to reach the goal of 10 defective parts per billion and less, it seems that we need to introduce another layer of control. So besides process control and electrical testing that are in place already, well established, we propose to add another layer of control, that is latent defect prediction. Okay, next slide. So our plan is as follows. We plan to use defect data from Sika Candela inspectors in silicon carbide and epitaxial substrates as the input, and to use wafer bin maps from WaferSort as the response to predict killer defects first, or to learn to predict killer defects, so that we can provide feedback to silicon carbide substrate and epi process immediately after the inspection has been completed. And then we are going to use this system to predict latent defect as well, so that we are able to screen out dies with potential reliability risk. So this is basically it. We are searching for a partner for silicon carbide and epitaxial substrate manufacturers, producers, that would be willing to partner with us on this project. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lenhardt, and thank you for keeping the time limit. That's perfect. Thank you very much. And now I would like to invite to present Mr. Emil Vařeka, who is a Chief Executive Officer from Ikontio. So, Mr. Vařeka, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Emil Vařeka. I'm owner and Chief Executive Officer of company Ikontio. And before I started my own business, I was Chief Information Officer of one bank where I was responsible with building of infrastructure and information security. Ikontio provide information systems and consulting for digitalization, cybersecurity, and in several last years in e-health. We have wide range of customers from large to small companies, as well as government and public organizations or hospitals. We are partner of several leading Czech universities and research centers. So next slide, please. Our information systems and products help customers to increasing productivity and security. We have developed many original products, mobile and web applications, and technologies for management of strategic goals, projects, services, processes, document management, audit and risk management, lean management, and continuous improvement. Of course, we innovate every product, but today allow me highlight especially field of telemedicine, digital home care, and ergonomics. We have developed information system for people monitoring in whole region with many hospitals and thousands social and home care locations. Assistive sensor technology to ease care giving and ensure safety for patients that reside at home. SenseCare helps with medical care at home, social services, and hospitals, improving quality of care, protect patients' safety, and saving time of caregivers. Second project in the field of people telemetry is ErgoSense. ErgoSense helps prevent health damage resulting from localized physical stress, especially during repetitive work tasks. So next slide, please. We have several partners, or many partners from R&D. We already have 5 university partners, some of them in Toucher projects. With other 2 universities, we have long-term partnership. Their students running up internships or diploma works in our company, and then they can stay for full-time work, of course. We cooperate with several manufacturers from Taiwan and Korea. And in the area of telemedicine, we cooperate with South Moravian regional government and 3 faculty hospitals. In this year, we agreed on 2 pilot projects, and we already started them with our SenseCare system. Ikontio is a company with customers and history from 2006, but not only. We have a startup in the group too. We would like to be project partner in other interesting projects in the field of digitalization, especially in caregiving and healthcare services. Thank you for attention and welcome any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vařeka. That was again almost on the time. Perfect. Thank you very much. And now I would like to invite as our third presenter on the Czech side, Mr. Jan Žídek, representing the team behind Medabit. So, Mr. Žídek, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to present our project. The first slide is only for information about contacts, so I would like to please for next slide. And we would like currently present 2 projects which we have just elaborated. The first project is we are a consortium of 2 SMEs and research center from from Brno University of Technology and National Library. And we have developed some projects about acid hydrolysis about prevention to acid hydrolysis of the book. It is the acidification. The acidification is important because there is without the acidification the books have decreased durability, and they are difficult to archive. And it is quite good business because in the Czech Republic will be over 30 million books which will need to be deacidified. And current technologies are mostly manual, and we propose the automatic process saving to all costs, which are mostly personnel costs, which save personnel cost, energy cost, chemical cost, and storage capacity. And we calculated that manual processing costs are approximately $40 per one book, whereas the cost of automatic process are approximately $15. So very decreased the cost due to automatization. So that for this project we would like we would search the partners. Please, next slide. Please, next. Yes, thank you. And then the next project which we developed is the automated industrial line for insect farming. And the insect farming is a new trend in the production of nutrition, and it can replace some foods high in protein. And in insect farm need automatization, and some automatization, as you can see, some operations can also decrease very radically the cost of the insect planting. So please, next slide. And for this project, we see the partner as a suppliers of the partial technological modules for these lines, and we also search some programmers for control software, and some institution or companies which are involved in the related subjects, such as chemists, biologists, restaurers, libraries, archives. And on the other hand, we would be happy if we could serve as partner to your projects, and we are able to do some automatic lines or some modules to automatic lines. We have some experience with sensors, and we can do some electronics and some hardware support of your projects. Thank you for attention.
Many thanks, Mr. Žídek, again for your presentation. And now comes our last presenter on the Czech side, Mr. Pavel Pořízka, who is a Chief Scientific Officer from LITIGO. Mr. Pořízka, please, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, good morning. I hope that you can hear me and see me. Thank you for having me here, and I would like to present LITIGO company, which is a startup from the university. As we could see in the last presentation, it's SATEC Brno University of Technology, and we have dedicated this startup for the commercialization of laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy and its transfer to industry and other applications, including space. Basically, what we are doing right now, we have two major ways that we develop our systems. Is lab-based systems, and then industrial and space applications that I will be showing today. We are looking investors, distributors, that's obvious, but also we are looking for cooperation in development of individual analytical devices like laser spectrometers and so on, and also some industrial payloads, including some transfer of LIBS technology there in direct online, and also for some machine learning and data processing. So please, next slide. Oh, yeah, there is one missing logo. I'm sorry about that, but anyway, as you can see that we have several basic products in our production pipeline. The first one is LIBS Firefly. This is the main system that we have right now. It's lab-based system for universal applications. We are working on biology, including detection of nanoparticles in immunoassays complex, and it also reaches to industry. So this is a very universal solution. And now we are also developing another system, which is called LIBS Dragonfly. And in there, we would like to implement vacuum chamber for simulating atmospheres of lunar and Martian conditions, and also then to move towards really high-end state-of-the-art system in terms of spectroscopy. We are also working on 2 laser sources, nanosecond laser source and femtosecond laser source. As you can see, we have covered quite nice already for a small startup distribution network throughout the globe, and we have already many IP assets that we can still extend. Please, next slide. And most recently, we have moved also to just from the lab-based systems, we are moving towards 2 additional ways, and those are also dedicated like spin-offs of this startup. It's Litigo Space and Litigo Development. Obviously, as you can see, Litigo Space, this is a company that is dedicated to space applications, and recently we won pre-incubation in ESRIC, which is related to ESA in Luxembourg, and we will be developing our business case and technical feasibility in over than 1 year incubation phase directly in Luxembourg. Here we aim to develop a LIBS payload that will be usable for planetary survey, and in the meantime, also in parallel, we will be developing a payload that will be used in individual industrial applications, first mining, then moving to polymer industry, civil engineering, and even foundry and 3D printers. So it's a rather broad scope, but as you can see, we have set already a road plan for transfer from the lab to industry and even space. So that's everything from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pořízka. This is the end of our part with the pitch presentations. I would like to thank you all the presenters, and I would like to remind all our attendees of the webinar that they can exchange their contact details via chat. And of course, they can place their questions in this tool, because we are a little late behind the schedule. So we might go for 5-10 minutes if you would like to, but I'm afraid we will not have time for really getting all the questions from you. So now I would like to continue with only really short introduction of our TCR partnering tool that could help you if you decide that you would like to find your partner for this year call. So you can pose your request via our website, and this is the screen of the website what you will see when you link to this partnering tool. And here what is the content of this partnering tool? It's basically the Google form. You will fill it in, and then after saving, you will receive a confirmation by email, and it will be with my contact detail, because I'm an administrator of the database. And here at the last slide, I would like to show you, you can have this web link directly, And after filling in, so you can then look up through this database by filtering country, type of organization, research area. So I would like to say that we consider this online tool as a useful one, but it's kind of self-running. So you insert your request and you can look up for your partners, but you contact them by yourself. So again, I would like to welcome you to use this tool. So now we are in a questions and answers part. So I would like to give a floor to 1-2 questions. If there are any, please, you are welcome.
Radana, I would like to answer what the last question that was here about if only one partner is approved, so it's not applicable. It's a joint project, and the only projects that will be approved by Thatcher and the Innovation Authority can get the funding. I should also add that some of the questions were already answered in the chat by Radana and myself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Uzi, for adding this information. Yeah, I should mention that with me is here my colleague Katarzyna, who is helping me with this chat questions. Yeah, thank you, Uzi. So yeah, I see the hand with Mr. Yerushalmi. So please, floor is yours.
Okay, I hear. You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I want to ask Uzi and you in both next question. How R&D collaboration between Israel to Czech Republic can support improvement social and economic well-being in Israel and Czech Republic?
Yeah, so excuse me, was that question for me or for Uzi? Was that for both of us? Sorry. Yeah, so yeah, from my understanding, we hope that it might help improve the situation, but of course it's really depending on the outcomes of the projects, and at least it brings together the cooperation of our companies and researchers that can work together, and that they are welcome to find any solutions that they can find as viable for their societies, both on in Israel and in the Czech Republic. So that would be my answer to you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, dear all, there is a time for one more question. I see Thomas Evangelidis. So please, the floor is yours.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure, we can hear you.
Good morning. I'm Thomas Evangelidis from iFinity. It's a Czech startup. I have a quick question. Hello. I have a quick question about the market research. That's one of the conditions that you mentioned in the grant. Should it be about the final product or the segments that the company and the partner operate in?
Well, it should describe on our side. Again, I can just guide you to our call documentation, where you see the one page describing what should be the content of that. but it should definitely describe the potential of the product or service that you will be conducting via your research. Yeah, and it's mostly for the Czech part, but of course it should be both. Like it should include both parts of the project.
Okay, yeah, because it's a common product, I get it. I have another question about the conditions, but I would rather ask it to you in private, not consume the time here. It's about the requirement of having 3 years of closed book periods for the partner, for the Czech applicant, right? So I would rather ask this in private, all right? So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, it's one of our conditions that we have, but we understand that some of the companies that are like startups or that were founded like 1-2 years ago, so could hardly follow this condition strictly. So I believe there are some requirements for sure, but we could discuss this later. Yeah.
Because I have some internal information for you from my business developer, which is kind of confusing. I would rather discuss this in private with you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I would like to continue. I'm sorry because we are really going to out of the time. So I would just ask you if you would have any more questions. Just use for this moment the chat. So I will be then with Uzi answering them later if there are some more which we will not have time to answer right now. And now I would like to have for you this basic, well, not basic, but the brief summary of the conditions that are on the both sides. And of course, this presentation will be downloaded on our website as well. So you can then read it once again and just have more time for getting all this information which is here. So this is only to really simply repeat what are the main requirements or the requirements that are asked most frequently in questions. And again, I would repeat from my side that on Czech side, we have the deadline for submission on July 19th, and in Israel, it's September 11th. And that on both sides, it's enterprise as the lead organization that is required to apply. And then all the projects in all technological areas of applications are accepted. Then you can see that the funding intensity differs, but then we come together with the project length, which is up to 24 months at maximum. And here is for you the websites where you can look up the information in more detail. And it's both for our Czech side and for the Israel Innovation Authority. So by saying that, I would like to come to our closing remarks. And I would like to ask my dear colleague, Mr. Uzi Barsadeh, if he could say on behalf of his agency a few words.
Okay, thank you for participating in this webinar, and I hope to see many joint submission to our call, Czech-Israeli call. And I would like to ask Czech participants, when you have an Israeli partner, please ask them to call me, to contact me, so I can help them and assist them with all the procedures and details about the call for proposals. And also Israeli companies are welcome to contact me. Thank you. Good luck.
Many thanks, Uzi. And from my side, I would like to also thank you very much, all of you, for attending today's webinar. And on behalf of the Technology Agency of the Czech Republic, I very much hope that this webinar responded at least to some of your questions about how to submit joint project proposals. And by having here our great presenters, both on the Israeli and Czech side, that all our efforts will lead to establishment of new cooperation and new partnerships in view of many project proposals. So thank you very much once again, and have a great day today and all the days that will follow. Thank you very much.